What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis Kimberly if this is your first time here. As you can tell by today's video title, we are going to be discussing how you can best advocate for yourself when you're at the hair salon. And this video is coming off of the heels of my last upload where I really strongly recommended that you guys not self-relax your hair and instead go to the salon to get it done. That raised a huge conversation, a healthy dialogue, I must say, and you guys really just talked about how you guys really don't trust your hairstylist. Over processed hair, you've had damaged hair in the past as a result of going to the salon, so you're just like, nope, I'm not going back. I'm not living that experience again. It really got me to thinking because I think a lot of us have been in a situation where we've been in the salon seat and we see that something is going on back there, whether it's a relaxer and our scalp is on fire and burning, or the trim is just going bad, whatever it is, we're sitting in that seat and we know that something's not right, but we don't say something. And I think that there's a good conversation to be had about how we can advocate for ourselves as clients, as consumers, as people who are being serviced by these professionals, so that we can really kind of set some boundaries and develop a trusting, reciprocal relationship that's going to mutually benefit both sides. So I want to just talk about that today. So if you're excited, then definitely give this video a big thumbs up. And as always, subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is when you're looking for a stylist, and I'm not talking about people who already have a stylist, if you are in the market for a new hairstylist, the first thing that you're going to want to do is set up a consultation with that hairstylist. Not an appointment to get your hair actually done, but just an opportunity for you to meet and speak with one another so that you have an opportunity to convey to your stylist exactly what you want, what your goals are, what outcome you're seeking. Are you trying to texlax your hair? Ask her if she's ever heard of texlaxing. Give her pictures of inspiration that you have for where you want to see your hair go so that you can kind of develop that rapport with that person, because the more that they're invested in you, the more trusting you are going to be of them to make good decisions when it comes to your hair. The other thing is that you get to feel out the vibe in the shop. Like, you get to see the other clients who are coming in, you get to see the health of their hair, you get to see the relationships between the other clients and the hairstylist. So you kind of get to feel out what the energy is in the room. The problem is that a lot of stylists don't actually do this. They don't actually set up a consultation with their prospective clients. They just say, okay, come in for an appointment and I'll do your hair. And there's no real discussion about what you want. It's just about what they can do for you or what service they can provide for you for a buck. If your stylist, or if the stylist that you're talking to over the phone is not really interested in having a consultation with you, that should be the first red flag to know that, you know what, this person is not really serious about her business, his or her business. This person is not really serious about developing a relationship with me as a client. And so perhaps this is not the person for me. And I think that the other thing that's important to remember when you're going to the salon is that they need you more than you need them. Okay? They are running a business. And if they're any good at being a business owner, they're going to make sure that you are happy. So it's really important to know your power as a client and to know your value. If that person doesn't respect what you have to say, then they don't respect you as a client, and so they don't deserve your dollar. If you don't like something, it really is incumbent upon you as the client, as the person in charge, because you are the person in charge. You ask this person to complete a service for you, some sort of service for you, in exchange for money. You are the one who is directing this ship. And if she or he is not being responsive or receptive to the thing that you want or the concern that you have, then they are not deserving of your money. And I think once we have that mentality walking in and knowing that at any time I can end this relationship, I don't have to sit through this service, we're reclaiming that power that we have as the consumer, as the person who is being provided that service, and we're directing that relationship. I just remember so many times going to hairstylists before the one that I currently have now. I've had some terrible experiences with hairstylists, don't get me wrong. Like, I hear you when you guys say that you've had miserable experiences with hairstylists and you can't trust them again, because trust me, honey, I have been there. I have been in that seat where I am getting a relaxer put on and my scalp is on fire, and I literally am just like, everything's fine, and I just don't say anything. It's like you almost feel like, well, I'm not the expert, they're the expert, they know what's best for my hair, so I'm just not going to say anything. And then you end up with a mess, and then you go home and you're frustrated and you're crying and you've got this damage and now you have to deal with it. They already got your money, so they're set, you know? Even like, not even with relaxers, like getting my hair blown out. I used to go to this Dominican salon and I used to get my hair blown out by them, and they were really popular, really well-known business in my area. And the problem though was that they were using this really high heat when they were blow drying my hair, and I had so much damage as a result of just one visit. It was actually a time when I was transitioning to natural hair, so I had all different kinds of textures in my hair, and I left there with such a mess. And if I had said something, perhaps I could have changed the outcome and avoided all of the damage that I ultimately experienced as a result of that service. So I guess it's all to say that I think we've all kind of been there in that seat where we're like, you know what, I'm gonna just defer to the expert. But you guys really need to understand that you do, and I think you guys do understand, because you guys were like very adamant in the comments last video, but I do think that you guys understand that you know your hair best. And once you realize that you do know your hair best, and that if something doesn't feel right, that you have the power to say something, and you are in the best position to make that judgment call on whether or not you should continue this service, you're gonna feel much more confident going into the salon because you know that you're the one in control. And then another thing that I think is really important is that once you're able to kind of develop that relationship and rapport, you set up a consultation with this stylist, you feel confident in her work, you feel like she's invested in the health of your hair, then you can kind of sort of just iron out all of the negative experiences that you've had with stylists in the past. And I think it's okay to be honest about your reservations about going to a salon and having another salon experience because of those negative experiences that you've had in the past. But it's really important that you are as specific as possible when you're sharing those experiences, because you really want it to be clear to this person, to the stylist, what it is that you want to avoid. So whether it's over processing, your stylist recommended that you get your relaxers done every 6 weeks, you realize down the line that your hair does not need to be relaxed every 6 weeks, it can go 12 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever. That's something that you learned about your hair, so that's now a boundary that you're setting with your stylist. This is my relaxer schedule and this is what I'm sticking to, and that's that. If she has recommendations, totally fine to hear them out. But as long as you're able to establish that, that boundary of like, I know that 6 weeks is not going to work for me, I'm looking more of a 12 to 16 week range kind of stretch, then hopefully if she's a good stylist, if he or she is a good stylist, they will be receptive to that because they know that you know your hair. And that's the other thing. Once you come off as confident in knowing your hair, they are going to be more trusting in your judgment calls when it comes to your hair. So that's another thing too. Energy reads energy. So for me, for example, I had a negative experience with a hairstylist where she was applying way too much heat on my hair. Like, she must have pumped that flat iron to like 450 degrees. It was so straight. I've never seen it that straight before in my life. It was literally bone straight. And you guys know I have Texlax hair. My hair doesn't get bone straight unless you like sear it. So I knew that this woman OD'd on the heat. So ultimately, I ended up with heat damage, and I'm actually still dealing with that heat damage to this day. Now, in retrospect, I'm realizing that I should have said something to her because I know that my hair does not do well with high heat. I don't think anyone's hair does well with high heat, but especially my hair, because even though it looks like it has a lot of texture and it might fool you to the eye, my hair strands themselves are very fine. So I cannot afford to have a whole lot of excessive heat on my hair. For one thing, it'll just make my hair look so completely flat, limp, and lifeless. but it'll also cause heat damage. And I wish that I had spoken up in that experience, because in that experience, I knew my hair better than the expert. I knew what my hair could withstand. And instead, I said, you know what? She knows what she's doing back there. I'm gonna just like close my eyes and wait until it's done. Unfortunately, I'm still dealing with that damage. So you want to share those specific examples with your stylist so that she has prior experiences that went sour for you in her mind, so that she doesn't repeat the same thing. So all in all, you're definitely going to want to first set up a consultation with this person, get to know them, develop a relationship with them. When they're invested in you, you have more trust in them that they're going to make good decisions about the health of your hair. You're definitely going to want to build up that confidence in knowing that you are the man or woman in control in this situation. Your dollar controls this service. If you decide that you don't want to work with this person anymore, you can end that relationship at any time. And understanding that you are the one who is being serviced, knowing that you are the one who is in power, is in control of that relationship, is going to make you better armed for when and if something happens that you're concerned about, being able to speak up in that situation, and just being completely transparent in all of your negative experiences in the past so that we don't repeat the same thing. So those are just a few tips that I have just to make your salon experience a little bit easier. I think that no matter whether you're going to be going to the salon for a relaxer or not, or just some other random service, maybe you're getting your hair done for a wedding, who knows, but really being able to be confident so that you can convey your concerns, your goals, your desires with that stylist so that you can get the look that you're going for and the health of your hair can be better managed. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, then definitely give this video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you've ever suffered from salon anxiety, as I call it. And as always, subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one. And until next time, guys, I will see you all in my next video. All right, bye guys.